So far, we've seen the Xbox 360 from Microsoft and the PS3 from Sony. But what about Nintendo? Are they opting out of the next console cycle? Oh, sweet Christmas, no. Nintendo has a little something called the Revolution. And if you thought it was going to be a VR helmet, you're special. And you're very, very wrong.
And now you say, you want a revolution? Well, we've got one. Clearly, Revolution is by far the smallest console we've ever manufactured. In its final form, it will be even smaller than this, about the size of 3 standard DVD cases stacked together. When you turn on Revolution and see the graphics, you will say, wow. Wi-Fi capability will be built into every Nintendo Revolution. The controllers will also be very unique in ways we will share with you later. But I will tell you, we are already working on several Wi-Fi titles, each starring one of our key franchise characters. 1 or 2 Wi-Fi games will be ready for launch. And I am pushing our team to make sure Smash Brothers is one of them. Of course, we all love what Mr. Miyamoto has created over the years. But for Revolution, he is challenging his team to create something brand new. Of course, it would be foolish to ignore the franchise we've already created, the best group of game stars in history. Next generation versions of Mario and Zelda are already underway. We are redefining the term backward compatibility. That's because we have designed Revolution to be a virtual console capable of downloading 20 years of Nintendo content. You will be able to purchase great games originally created for NES, Super NES, and Nintendo 64. The idea of a single device transporting us back to the first Excitebike, Earthbound, or Punch-Out should make us all feel young again. At least for a while.
Well, okay, so it's a black box. Jeff, Revolution or Revulsion?
Oh.
Ouch. No, I think, Nintendo, they haven't told us a lot about it. That's the thing is they're keeping it secret, so it's like it's a black box. And it's like it's going to be innovative. And, for Revolution, we haven't really heard what's revolutionary about. I like the idea of backwards compatibility, the idea of all the classic games, wireless controllers.
Yes, right.
My question is, are you going to get a wireless light gun so I can play, Duck Hunt, which is one of my favorites.
You know what, why not? Like, I'm sure that you'll be able to do that. I was really excited, as everybody was. You heard the applause when they announced that you'd be able to download on the internet Nintendo games from back in the day.
Nintendo realizes there's an internet now, and I think that in and of itself is a revolution. Yeah,
they finally got the steps.
And it is Wi-Fi compatible right out of the box, which is nice.
But they talked about DVD, which I thought was interesting. Is like they talked about how we play DVDs, but then you have to buy an attachment.
It's an attachment
if you want to play regular DVDs.
They're kind of a generation behind. They're still doing that. I think the thing is okay. So they're not going to show us any games. When do they plan to show it to us, and do they think we're actually paying attention? I mean, there are 2 big console launches looming in the future.
Right.
This was really, I think, the time they had to say, look at this, get excited about it, get talking about it. Nintendo always seems to be so hesitant, and they shoot themselves in the foot, and I think this is
are they hesitating, or do they really not have anything to show just yet? That's the question.
Well, they showed them. There was that Metroid Prime video that they showed, which kind of met with
next gen?
Well, I don't know. It's sort of something suggesting.
No, I don't mean that to be.
But it's like it was a very lukewarm reaction at the conference.
But it was because it was vague. They didn't tell you what it was. They're just like, and here's Metroid, and everyone's like, yay.
And Nintendo has always been the most tight-lipped of the 3, the 3 big ones. So
well, 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago, Iwata-san was very contrite, unusually contrite, in front of the audience, acknowledging that there had been a problem with the launch of the GameCube, and they did not reach the number of people, and said right there they were not going to be behind this time round.
So what are
they are behind.
Yeah,
and it's just clear.
So what do they have then? That if they're trying not to be behind, they didn't really bring anything to the table.
And one thing they might do is they might, it sounds like they're kind of trying to really differentiate themselves from Sony and Microsoft. This box, it seems smaller. I can't imagine it's going to be as powerful as the PS3 or the Xbox 360. Maybe it'll be cheaper. They could come out with a box that's only $199 when they launch it.
It's a perfect, and they've always kind of focused on games that are a little bit more innovative, not necessarily as graphics heavy.
Nintendo also has a rabid fan base. Go to the IGN message board to find that out immediately. And they're going to pick it up on day one.
We hear from them all the time.
Two things I think are important. One, their main feature right now is something that a $20 mod chip for an Xbox can get you, and that's the entire back catalog. Sorry, it had to be said. Number two, who should really trust Nintendo when they haven't really dipped their toe into the online pool yet? Right. Now, I believe them when they say that they're going to have the infrastructure and that, GameSpy for the DS, and then you'll be able to download these games online. But have they proven any of that in the past? They're all of a sudden saying the internet's a big deal when just a few years ago it was all about the local experience. What happened?
Well, this goes back perfectly to why I think that behind closed doors they really do try to aim to be the perfect second console. Because with the other two, you're going to get that built-in Wi-Fi, and the internet experience. This is what people buy Nintendo for. It's the quality of those games. I'm almost wondering if they should give up on trying to go bigger and just hone in on what they do so well and using that incredible library to create good games every year.
Well, hey, and what about the controller? I mean, we haven't even seen that yet,
Is it
touchscreen or black box?
Yeah, touchscreen control. I mean, the controller I'm not that worried about. How different is it really going to be? Do you think they're going to come out with this wildly different
That's why they're not showing it.
Yes, that's why they're Nintendo. Nintendo always comes out with wildly different controllers.